Life is often measured in years, neatly divided by calendars and marked by birthdays. Yet such a measure feels incomplete. The true essence of living lies not in the passage of time, but in the depth of awareness with which that time is experienced. As I stand at the threshold of 24 years, I find myself compelled to look inward, not to count the years gone by, but to experience how consciously they have been lived. This introspection yields a sobering realization. A significant part of my life has been guided less by deliberate awareness and more by instinct and habit. There have been moments of clarity, but they have been interspersed with periods of drift where impulses overrode intention and the higher faculty of reason remained subdued. However, this recognition is not an expression of regret. Rather, it marks a turning point, a conscious decision to transition from a life governed by unconscious patterns to one guided by vigilance, discipline, and self awareness. Such inward reflection naturally extend outward, raising an equally important question: what has been my contributions to the world around me? In different roles, I find varying degrees of fulfillment and inadequacy. As a son, I have made sincere efforts to justify the faith and sacrifices of my parents, yet as a brother, I acknowledge that my presence has not measured into meaningful support. As a friend, I must admit that I have not always been dependable or steady. My role as a citizen too has been marked by sporadic engagement rather than sustained contribution. Even in my relationship with nature, my efforts, though well intentioned, remain limited in scale. This honest evaluation reveals that my contributions so far have been narrow and insufficient. Yet, it also brings into focus a latent potential. Within me exists the spirit of a learner and the capacity to guide others. This inclination towards learning and teaching can serve as a foundation, but it must evolve into something broader, into a form of service that transcends personal boundaries, and contributes meaningfully to society. Correction. While reflection on the past provides clarity, it is the vision of the future that gives direction. Looking ahead, I see the age of 25 as a phase of rigorous discipline and focused preparation. It is a period where consistency must replace inconsistency and effort must become structured and purposeful. Each day must contribute to building resilience, shaping not only intellectual capability but also mental endurance. At 30, the vision becomes more expensive. I aspire to develop into an effective communicator, someone who can articulate ideas with clarity and conviction. I see myself as a dynamic public servant capable of engaging with people, addressing challenges, and contributing to governance with both competence and empathy. Communication, in this sense, is not merely a skill but a tool for impact, an instrument through which ideas can influence, inspire, and bring about change. However, no reflection on life is complete without an acknowledgement of gratitude. My journey thus far has been supported by numerous visible and invisible contributions. My parents, through their silent sacrifices, have provided the foundations upon which I stand. My siblings, despite my shortcomings in fulfilling my role towards them, remain an integral part of my life. My friends, though I may not have always been present for them, represent relationships that still hold the potential for renewal. Even strangers who pass through life briefly yet leave subtle impression deserve recognitions for the quiet ways in which they shape our experiences. In recent months, I have discovered writing as a medium of honest expression. Where spoken words sometimes fail, writing offers clarity and sincerity. It has become a space where reflection deepens and gratitude finds articulations. In this sense, writing is not merely a habit but a means of self discovery and emotional grounding. Thus, this moment at 24 is not a conclusion but a beginning. It is not a lament over what has not been achieved but a conscious commitment to what can still be built. It represents a shift from instinct to awareness, from limited contributions to meaningful engagement, and from hesitations to confident expression. In essence, 24 is not just another year added to my life, it is the dawn of a more deliberate existence. The journey ahead is not merely about growing older, but about becoming more aware, more responsible, and more purposeful. And in this pursuit lies the true promise of life, not just to exist, but to awaken.